folks, got a slightly different film for you today. And that's because I'm going to be opening my new chop saw. So this is a JCB chop saw. The model number is the JCB-MS-254SB. It's an absolute beast. Look at the size of this box. I bought this from B&Q. It was £160. I've got a home and garden channel, and I know most of you that watch this do so for my homebrew stuff, but there are other aspects to home and garden. So I just thought I'd widen the scope a little bit by doing a film unboxing this and showing you how it works. I'm going to begin by just giving you the dimensions of the box, just so you get an idea of how big this actually is. It's almost covering my entire dining table. So the box is 89 centimetres long, so basically 3 foot long to you Americans. Going across, it's 56 centimetres, so nearly 2 foot across. And then in terms of depth, it is 43 centimetres tall, so about 1.5 feet tall. It's a beast. When I put this in the back of the car, it filled the car completely with the seats down. Really does take up a lot of room. As I was pulling it off the shelf, I was with my wife, can you picture the scene? I'm pulling the box off the shelf and it was in long ways and it just kept coming and coming and coming, and we looked at each other and went, oh my God, this is a beast. And it is a beast, but I need a beast because I use a lot of wood. I have a wood burning stove, which I use throughout the winter, autumn, winter and spring pretty much, and it needs feeding and I need to be able to cut the wood to feed it. So here's the top of the box, and I'm just going to cut through the tape to get into it. Don't want to go too deep and damage what the contents are. Right, let's have a look inside. That fresh smell, polystyrene and packaging. It's a bit like Christmas. Right, so first of all, there are lots of bits and pieces in the top. I can see that there's the side stabilising bits just here. Not quite sure what the clamps. Oh, the clamp is will be to hold it down onto the bench. There is a bag for collecting the sawdust that comes out. My experience of chop saws, and this is my third chop saw, is that these aren't usually that brilliant, but let's see what happens with this one. That is we've got this piece here which will be to guide the front of it so you can angle it, because you can use it as a mitering saw to cut angles. Not quite sure what these are yet, but I'm sure I'll find out. And thankfully, we've got instructions, which is always handy. You can see it will need some putting together, and there are some little electrical bits in there. Don't quite know what that is yet, but we'll work it out as I go along. So I need to get all of this out of the box and onto the table. So here's a first look at the actual chop saw device inside. It's in plastic wrapping, very snugly fitted inside polystyrene, in the JCB classic yellow colours. Looks great actually, it looks really nice. I'm impressed with the packaging, and I'm impressed with the evidently really good structure of this machine. This is not something which is airy-fairy. Right, I've got to get this out. That might be easier said than done. I'll time-lapse this bit. Okay, here it is on the table, and let me tell you, this was very heavy. It is extremely solid structure-wise. I've no idea how much it weighs, so I'm sure the instruction manual will probably tell me, but it's not something for the faint-hearted. So outside of the box, the length of this is about 88 centimetres altogether, so almost 3 feet in length outside of the box. So the silly part of me says just get on with it and play with it and work out how you do it by playing with it. But the sensible person inside my head says, let's have a look at the instructions first. So that's what I'm going to do before I do anything else. So I'm just looking at the instruction manual right now. There's a good level of information. It begins with all the safety stuff that you would expect, because basically you could seriously injure yourself with this, or worse. So yeah. So there's all the stuff about working outdoors, working in damp environments, dressing appropriately, etc, etc. I'm pretty well versed on using these machines, but if you've never used one before, then do read through all that properly. And then we get to the component list. So you get plenty of detail about what each of the separate pieces is on the machine, and there is a lot to it. There are 37 different components listed on there. Technical data, it's a 220 to 240 volt 50 Hertz machine, because this one's designed for usage in the UK. I'm sure that there are regional variations also. It's 2000 watt, it has an idle speed of 5000 rotations a minute. The carbide saw blade is 254 by 30 by 3 mil. It's got 60 teeth. It has a mitre range of -45 to +45, a bevel cut of 0 degrees to 45 degrees to the left. The saw width at 90 degrees is 315 by 90, and the saw width at 45 degrees is 215 by 90. If you're doing a double mitre cut, 2 times 45 degrees, it's 215 by 40. Protection class 11. Now I said it was heavy. It weighs 16.4 kilos unboxed. So imagine you're going on holiday, you've paid for your luggage, your suitcase, that's 15 kilos. So this weighs more than your suitcase does. That's how heavy it is. It's got a laser class 2, which has 650 nanometers or 1 microwatt output. What I want to read about now is how I go about turning this from the kit that I've got in front of me into the working chop saw, what I need to do in terms of setting it up. So just looking along here, that you can see the cable tie is here to hold the head down where the saw blade is. I'm going to cut the cable tie and see if this then goes upwards. This is the safety thing just here, and that will, when this is up, that should cover the teeth of the blade so they're not exposed. So I'll very gently see what happens. This is going to take some cutting. That's it. Pull that out. Now it's not immediately springing upwards, so there must be something else that needs to be undone. This is what I need to move. So if I push down, pull this back, that's it. It's done it. Super. So this is now what the beast looks like. That bit of cardboard was just there because of those blades when they were exposed, and if you pull the head down you can see how the safety thing goes back, and then as you lift it, it covers the blades over. And what's a really nice touch on this one compared to others I've had are these little wheels. So I'm going to pull this down, and then I'm going to push this just there in, and now that is locked downwards. Now let's have a look at the position of the blade, and again now. So you can see there, teeth are exposed, the little wheels are there on that, just there. So I simply remove that. I've got my arm currently on here, putting a bit of pressure downwards, and then I lift that, and that all goes into place. It's got a really nice smooth action to it as well, which you would hope when it's brand new. So I'm just going to attach the sawdust bag on the back, and my experience at previous chop saws is that the sawdust bag was useless, but this has got a bit more structure to it. There's actually some metal inside there to give it a bit of shape and rigidity, and there's a little zip for emptying it out. So I'm going to attempt it with this on when I use it, and let's see what happens. This piece goes in the front. There's a little hole at the front down there, if you can see. This goes in there. You push it in, and it'll eventually find a bit, and you just turn it, and it will just sit in there nicely. And when you're wanting to actually do any mitering at angles, you can see the scale just there. You simply use this to turn the turntable around from side to side. Most of my cuts won't be mitered because I just use it for cutting firewood. But that's now nicely in place. That's not going to come out without unscrewing it. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is this clamping device. So on the back, on either side, is one of these holes just here. And the clamping device is simply for holding the body of this in place on the table. So that bit slides into the hole there, and then at the front it's just a case of twisting downwards until you get some tautness on it. So I'll just keep doing that and come back to you when I've done it. Right, I've got the clamp in place. it tightens in 3 ways. One just there, so that holds this column steady in there. Then this holds this part to the column, that tightens, and then finally you tighten that, so you get a nice purchase down on that, and that now ain't going to move. Next I've got these 2 bits. These are the workpiece supports. Now they come with a bolt in the end just there. It's just got a screw thread on. So I'll just take that out to start with, because you can't put these together with the bolt in place. And then this then slides, there's 2 holes in that, as you can see. That slides through there. And down, as so. Now this can then be clamped with this, so it holds it in place however you want it to be. So I'm just going to do that for argument's sake. So if we have a look at the side just there, you can see 2 holes here, and the workpiece support slots inside those holes. And the bolt that I undid needs then reattaching inside to hold this in place. That needs lifting up to do that. I'm not actually going to do that because I don't need to at the minute for what I'm using it for. Now the eagle-eyed amongst you might have noticed that I had these the wrong way around. I had them back to front. That one belongs on the other side and vice versa, but now they're the right way around. And you can see that it makes the chop saw a heck of a lot wider. In fact, I'll give that a measurement now. So with the workpiece supports in place, this then becomes about 97 centimetres long, about 3 foot 3 inches. So it's a lot wider with those on. But like I said before, for what I use it for, I won't actually need those on there. Just to point out another feature for you, so if you're wanting to move this around to mitre it, looking at the different angles there, then you lift the trigger underneath to allow you to then move it from side to side. I'm not going to do that because I've got it clamped at the minute. But that's what you would do, and that clamp would hold it at exactly the right angle for you. Okay, I'm going to unwrap the electricals and then we'll see what happens when it gets plugged in. Okay, just for demonstration purposes, I've got it plugged in there. Please, health and safety people, don't worry, there's only me in the house and I won't be walking past it. So it's just to show you what this looks like when it's in operation without any wood cutting. So I'm going to squeeze the handle at the top. It's a beast, isn't it? Yeah. Now that's even in the 0 position, so what? Now that'll be for the laser, I expect. I bet that's the laser on now. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's the laser just there. You can see the red dot underneath. See if we can get a laser shot. There we go. You can see the laser there. I presume if I press that button, the laser will go off. Yeah, so that is the laser button. So don't confuse this with the power button. So you squeeze the trigger and you press this in at the same time to get it to work as such. Okay. So as you can see, it is a beast, but what you really want to see now is it in operation cutting some wood. I can't do that at the minute because it keeps drizzling outside and raining. So we'll do that either later on or tomorrow. So I'll catch you then. Right, moment of truth. Okay, I've moved the whole arm back so the wood will hold against this bit just here to keep it in place. Let's try a nice big fat chunk now and see how that goes. Pretty good. It's pretty effortless. an hour later. I'm a bit dusty, but that's enough firewood for 2 days. You can even hear it on my chest. I should have had a mask on. And yeah, there's a bit of tidy in here. All this will go on the garden. And the bag has actually done a good job. It's full, but you obviously still get tons of sawdust anyway. So yeah, all in all, this is a big thumbs up from me. I've just got a bit more to cut now. As you can see, just a modest amount. So just one final bit of feedback. We've noticed now, having been using it, that the lock that locks it in place doesn't seem to want to go back in. So now it's going to have to be stored with the arm up, which is not ideal. If anybody knows a workaround for that, please tell me. Right, I'm done for today. I need a shower and a beer, in that order. The next film I make with the saw will be building a wood store, which is going to be behind my shed in my back garden. It'll be at some point this winter. Catch you then. The film that you've just watched is a Moss Home and Garden production. You can find more by going to www.mosshomeandgarden.co.uk. I'd just like to say thank you very much for supporting my YouTube channel and for watching my films. It really is very much appreciated. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel in order to receive future updates about the home and garden films which I upload. You can find my YouTube channel by going to www.mosshomeandgarden.co.uk. Please click on the red subscribe button. When you've done that, a little bell will appear. If you press that also, then you'll get future updates about the films which I upload. If you like my films, if you like my style of filming, then you might also like my travel channel, which you will find by going to youtube.com/Stuart Moss or type in www.mosstravel.tv. Again, if you could subscribe to that channel, it would be hugely appreciated. If you'd like to get Moss Home and Garden updates on Facebook, then please open Facebook and do a search for Moss Home and Garden, and you will find the page. If you like the page, then you will get future updates on there. And if you'd like to connect on Instagram for home, garden and travel photography, as well as some stories, then my username is StuMoss, STUMOSS. If you'd like to connect on Twitter, then my username is @StuartMoss. And if you'd like to contact me about film usage or any other issue, please just email me on stewmosshomegarden@gmail.com. Once again, thank you very much for supporting my channel, for watching my films. I do appreciate it. I'd just like you all to have a great day.